friends? Mark Holmes with my buddy Cowboy Joe. I want to thank you for watching, liking, and My God, this! My God, close out, it's happening again. Still stinks. Yo, everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and did you guys see how bad Dallas looked the other night in preseason? Oh, it's preseason, I know, it's not supposed to matter, but let me tell you, the Dallas Cowboy fans, they're scared right now. They're scared. They saw their team come out without Zeke, who was at the buffet in Mexico, eating and stuffing his face. And they're getting a little nervous. They're getting a little scared. That's why we're seeing them unleash videos on the Eagles and how the Eagles are this or how the Eagles are that. And you know who I'm talking about, Mark Holmes, my man. We're going to get into it in a minute. You are very, very scared of the North Dakota Assassin. Now, before I do that, I have to give a huge shout out to my man Sports Talk with Broads and Adrian from the Bitter Birds. Now, the other day we did a podcast and we were just talking football, hanging out, and it was a great time. The podcast went on for about an hour, and I want you guys, if you want to listen to it, if you want to hear some some good Eagle fans talking football, go check it out. It's on Sports Talk with Broads channel. I'll leave the link in the description. Make sure you watch it. You give him a sub, and I think you guys will enjoy it. He's a great guy, and I had just a blast working with him, and I can't wait to do it again. Now, over the last 24 hours, my man Mark Holmes, shout out to Mark Holmes, I love him, but he did 2 videos on the Eagles, okay? Basically, one on Wentz and the Eagles, and then another one on Wentz, okay? And it's funny because it comes right after the Dallas Cowboys look like crap the other night versus the 49ers, okay? The Dallas fans, you're panicking. So it becomes deflection mode. We're going to go into deflection mode. Our team looked bad. We can't face it, so now we got to unleash on the Eagles. And I think he's scared. He did a video talking about all the injuries we have. The Eagles have this injury and this, and they're already banged up, and what are we going to do? Look, we have injuries. We've had a couple injuries that aren't so good. The Kamugruje Hill injury, that stinks, but at least he'll be back early in the year. Then we had the Nate Sudfeld injury, which, luckily he'll be back early in the year. And then you have guys like Lane Johnson hurt, Goddard hurt. They're not practicing, but you got to understand, they're not practicing because we don't want them hurt. We don't want them playing. We don't want them on the field. Okay, if Goddard had to play Thursday because it was a regular season game, he could go. If Lane Johnson had to play Thursday, he could go. Okay, so our injuries are not really that bad. A lot of them, most of them, are nothing serious. But we want to make sure we have our guys healthy and ready to go. And here's the funny thing about injuries, because we always hear about Carson Wentz's injury and Carson's injury prone. He got hurt the last few years, and the funny thing about injuries is things have a way of evening out. Okay, you may have a guy get hurt early in his career often, but then he'll go a long stretch and he'll have nothing. You have guys that have no injuries early in their career, and then all of a sudden they get hit with it. Some people, it kind of is always there steady every other year or whatever. It has a funny way of working out. And Carson was hurt. I think he's had his injury plagues, and they're kind of over. They're kind of behind us now. We're not worried about it. And to be honest with you, it is as bad as possible as it is for Carson Wentz to possibly go out and get injured, or Jordan Howard or anybody else. It's just as easy and just as capable of having Dak get hurt or having Zeke get hurt. Well, Zeke's in Mexico on vacation because Dallas can't even pay the guy. They can't even pay the guy, the best player on their team. Okay? They try to sell their fans crap about, oh, well, we got running backs that are just as capable. Get the hell out of there. They stink. Did you see them? Pay Zeke his money. Pay his money. Injuries have a way of working out. So we'll see who's injured and what happens by the end of the season. And I'm going to tell you this. It ain't going to be Carson Wentz. And it ain't going to be this team. This team is getting ready to go on a run. Now, we bring up Zeke. We bring him up and his holdout, and he wants his money, and Dak Prescott wants his money, and Dak Prescott turned down $30 million. Right, Mark? He turned down $30 million. He thinks he deserves more than it. And so Mark's video today, his second video is Carson Wentz is gets treated, and yet they make excuses in the media for Carson Wentz, but Dak, he doesn't get the same acknowledgement, or he doesn't get treated the same. Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why that is. The reason why people talk like Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott is because he is better than Dak Prescott. He's a lot better than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott stinks. You know what I mean? 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 He stinks. He is a game manager. A game manager. Your offense runs through Zeke Elliott and that running game. Dak Prescott, all he has to do is manage the game, not throw interceptions. And the few comebacks he did have, you guys were down by 2 points or less, like 12 of the 14 times, something ridiculous like that. So all he had to do is throw one screen pass to Zeke. He gets a field goal range. Boom, you win. Come on, Mark. Carson Wentz runs our offense. Our offense runs through Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott, he doesn't run the offense. Zeke runs your offense. And you can't even pay Zeke Elliott, the guy that your offense is predicated on. You can't even pay him. I think the Eagles are in a pretty good situation. Carson's paid. He's set. We're set. You know what I mean? Even the guys that are older on our team, we got guys already behind him. We got the most depth in the whole National Football League. We're ready to go. We're ready to battle. Is Dallas? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We don't worry about anybody else. We don't have to worry about the Redskins. Definitely don't have to worry about them stinky Giants. Giants stink! And they're going to stink, and they're not worth talking about. Not worth it. Now, Mark, less than 24 hours, 2 videos on the Eagles. Carson Wentz, you're scared, buddy. You're scared. And look, in truth and being honest for a second, I don't think Dak Prescott stinks. Okay? I'm overdoing it there. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he is a very capable quarterback. But he is not as good as Carson Wentz. They're asked to do 2 different things. Totally different quarterbacks. Totally different systems. Carson is a franchise quarterback. And Dak hasn't shown that he could carry the team on his shoulders yet. I want to see that from Dak Prescott. Let's see it from him. That's the truth, Mark. Now, shout out to Mark. Shout out to him. Go sub up Mark Holmes. I love him. But you said you were waiting for my response. This is my response. I hope that you're satisfied with my answers. And if not, then we'll have to get on there and we'll have to do something, double moonwalk some ass, and we'll go. Eagles are taking out Dallas this year. They're taking it out. You know what I mean? And to the social justice warrior of sports YouTube, Mr. Giants are so good. Talk about us, please. They stink! Now, getting back into the team that matters, the team that is about to make a great run this season, we were back at practice today. Now, this was a bit of a lighter practice because, look, we're only one more practice away from the Eagles traveling to Jacksonville. So this was a bit of a lighter practice. Carson Wentz, who had struggled yesterday, was up and down 2 days ago. He was pretty good today. He was hitting some nice passes. He had Aguilar in stride. He had a play of the day to Ertz. Alshon was involved. Carson was on point today. And there's been some concerns and talk about, what's with his up and down play in practice and stuff like that, I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it because you really don't know what they're trying to do. It's like a pitcher in spring training. A lot of times they're working on one pitch, or they're doing this or doing that, and it makes them look like they're having a bad outing or something like that. You don't know what he's working on. So I wouldn't worry about him being up and down. Okay, as long as he's ready to go during the games, we're going to be fine. But today, he was on point. He looked great. And hey, you can't ask for anything else. Rodney McLeod, Jason Kelsey had the day off, Veterans Day off. People were worried that he was hurt. He got hurt at the end of practice yesterday, but he was back. Or he wasn't back, he was off. But he said that he was healthy and it was just a Veterans Day off. It wasn't because of the injury. So that is very, very good news for the Eagles, of course. Now that we got some of those things out of the way, we got to talk about the big event at training camp today. The big event, double moonwalking of the ass, was taking place today at training camp. Andre Dillard has a mean streak in him. He can get nasty. I love this left tackle. I love my left tackles, or any of my tackles, or any of my offensive linemen. I love them to be nasty. I like that John Runyon type offensive lineman. And this kid, he's got a streak in him, okay? There was a fight and there was a brawl that went, and it was between him and Derek Barnett. And the way it started was, apparently he was blocking down the field. He blocked Jonathan Cyprien, put him on his butt. He didn't like it. They got into it. Cyprien had to be held back. And then Derek Barnett, was going one-on-one with him. And he started blocking him. And then it got chippy. And Barnett pushed Dillard. Dillard and they got in. It was melee. Everybody was jumping in. And Andre Dillard don't play around. This kid is a stud. This kid has everything I like in my offensive lineman. He's big, he's talented, and he's got that nasty streak in him, and I like it. And he was very emotional after practice. At one point, Howie and Doug took him aside, helped calm him down, and then Derek Barnett came over to him, and they hugged it out. They worked it out. Of course, everything is good. Look, this time of year when you're practicing every day and you're at your 14th practice of training camp, things get chippy, man. Things get chippy. Look, the Eagles don't practice like a lot of other teams. A lot of other teams practice real light. Eagles still practice pretty hard. For what you're allowed to do today, the Eagles are one of the harder practicing teams in training camp. So I'm not surprised by this. I love it. I love that Derek Barnett was back on 11-on-11 drills. I love that Ronald Darby was back on 7-on-7 drills. These are good signs, man. We're getting healthy. And hopefully these other injuries will heal soon. But Andre Dillard was the talk of camp today because of the fight, the double moonwalking of the ass that took place on the field. I love it, and I have no problem with it. Now, the Eagles have one more practice before they head to Jacksonville, so I'll be covering that. And then Wednesday, I will put out my, preview of weeks, of week 2 in the preseason for the Eagles. Then, of course, Thursday, I'll be live streaming the game. But Jacksonville and the Eagles is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And, hey, another day, another camp. Andre Dillard impresses me with his nasty streak. I like it. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Leave your comments in the comment section. And, of course, don't be a dingbat. Dallas still stinks. Giants always stink. And the Redskins will always and have always stunk.